Hey guys, welcome back. This has been a crazy week. I can't even believe what has happened. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the emails, the comments. It's been intense, to say the least, and I'm just like overjoyed with the fact that now I'm looking at it. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. For me, I don't see it as just some kind of YouTube number. I see it as close to 2,000 spirits resonated with what I had to say. There's just no words to express how I feel about this. I mean, again, the emails that I'm getting right now, just in this week, I've learned so much. I'm definitely just getting like this, it's like a symbiotic relationship right now with you guys, where you guys have things to add to, what I said on Jeff Morrow's podcast, and teaching me things about, history and how my story relates to them and their experiences. And it's just, again, no words. I came here with a plan. I've said my speech a million times today, what I was going to say, but it's insane to say the least. This is crazy. And I can feel something in my gut that we are together. We are going to create something awesome. This is going to be our corner of the internet. Together, we're going to learn so much. I could already see it. I learned so much in just this week alone from comments and other people just sharing their stories, and I just can't wait to see, what happens in the future. I'm going to keep continuing to do this. I'm not going to lie, guys. When I saw the Jeff Morrow numbers, I mean, I think I'm not sure. I think we're at like 50,000 views over there, and I started to panic. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I know why, I know you guys know why I feel that way. And it has nothing to do with becoming like this, this face on the internet, or just this known person. For me, it's the stuff that we're talking about is, I feel, can make us targets. And I brought that up to somebody in my email, and he was like, just rip it off, rip that target off. And he's right. So I think we need to be brave, and continue onward, sharing our truth, and in honor of all those people in the past that had their own communities. Just look at the Cathars. I learned about the Cathars this week because of my story, and I'm just like, that whole situation disgusted me. We don't have it nearly as bad as they did. So I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. Let's go ahead and get started on the Q&A. And with that being said, fellow mystics, initiates of the flame, my name is Harold, and welcome to the end of Agnoia. guys, let's go ahead and get started. This is a question by IBB4401, and they ask, have you heard of Bashar? I have heard of Bashar. I know that he channels some sort of alien entity. And Daryl Anka, I think that's his other, yeah, that's Bashar, right? Yes, I've heard of him, and he's pretty fascinating. Heard some of the things that he says, and it's pretty intense. Seth Speaks, no. Jane Roberts, no, never heard of them. And you ask, how do we know or recognize the real messenger like Sophia and not be deceived from these channelers? Yeah, so that's my initial shot with, that's my initial thought with people that channel entities, is absolutely you have to be careful. There's a lot of tricksters out there, a lot of trickster spirits, and there's definitely some benevolent ones. And we need to really use discernment to be able to determine, you know, if these entities are telling us the truth. It seems like when I listen to Bashar, I haven't heard a lot of things that he had to say, but every time I do watch his videos, I feel like I resonate with a lot of what he says, and it's possible that he is channeling some sort of entity, and that this entity has a lot of truth. But again, it's one of those things I don't 100% dive into these channeled messages, because, you know, we're filtering it through this human consciousness, number one. And the difference between our human consciousness and the consciousness outside of the body is vastly different. And that kind of goes along with astral projection too. I've done both. I have experience in the higher realms. I've astral projected and had out of body experiences, and it's night and day. It's not the same. So how do we not be deceived by it? Just use your intuition. And, you know, how do we know that we're listening to real messages from the divine? You just sort of feel it. It's trust your intuition, take the information and run with it, and keep absorbing information. Keep looking around. And I've found that when I trust myself, just so you guys know, I do almost little to no research on any of this stuff. It is just direct experience. So just run with this information, and, you know, look out for the synchronicities and the signs. All right, next one says, it's from KERIMW14V, and they ask, I would love to hear more about the massive event you mentioned. Is it a positive or a destructive event? Could it be the aliens arriving? And lastly, would love to know if your guides told you why we are guided to come to planet Earth. What exactly are our purposes in coming here as light orbs? Thank you. All right, so we got 2 questions here from you. And if you watch the Jeff Mara podcast, and I've also done other interviews about me basically in my pre-birth experience, when I chose my timeline, I saw that I was going to witness a massive event. The details of the event are not clear. I wish I was able to say, you know, what it is, but the only thing that I gathered from this was that it was going to be an event that eclipses all other events. It was going to overshadow absolutely everything. It didn't involve alien invasion. It didn't involve anything specific. It was just going to be the biggest event ever. And was it negative? My initial feeling when seeing it was that it was actually a positive thing. Even though it was like an end of the world event, it was a feeling that I got when seeing this. Everything that happens in these higher realms is not with logic or anything like that. It's all with feeling and a knowing. When I saw it, it just overall looked like the end of the world, and it was a positive thing. I don't think with those words can really describe what this is going to be. It's just going to change everything, and it could be the end of the physical reality. I don't know. I wish I did so I could tell you. But my main reason for saying this is because I'm putting that out there, because if I die before any type of event happens, this is a record. You know, I'm putting a record out there. If no event happens, that was a deceit. That was some sort of deceptive, you know, some sort of illusion that I saw that was not real and it was fake. So that's basically why I'm doing this. Because again, if it does happen, I'll never be able to say I told you so. So that's my main reason why I'm doing this. They didn't tell me directly, the guides did not tell me directly why I was going. It was, again, a knowing and a feeling. And my feeling was that I was supposed to come here to fix this place. And by fixing it, just be me. I've gone back and forth on that purpose. And then you ask, you know, what exactly is our purpose in coming here as light orbs? And I don't fully know. Again, with my intuition, I feel that the only reason why we come here is to maybe some spirits want to experience things. They want to experience the absolute worst. They want to experience the best. They want to experience physical reality. I will not sign off on it being some type of school, because if it's some type of school, where's the learning? Since the dawn of time, this place has been warring and killing each other and doing the absolute worst, and it's not getting any better. Where's the learning? Who's learning? Look around. Where's the learning? So, again, I wish I had a direct answer, and I would say this: beware of people who say they have the direct answer. Another user says, okay, I have another one. We can help many. What do you see in the pitch black with your eyes wide open? What do you see during and after sun gazing? I'd love for our RRR collective, Real Recognizes Real collective, to truly know how to engage in all the gifts we are born with. Now's the time. This is the most important preparation for our shared mission. That's really sweet. I see lots of stuff when I close my eyes, or, you know, if I'm in the dark and I open them up. The coolest thing that's ever happened to me is I do, with meditation, I will see really nice colors. And it also, the colors depend on the mood that I'm into. If I'm feeling like a healing sensation in my meditations, I'll see lots of blues and greens and like just rooms that are stretching and, you know, changing dimension and stuff like that. I've never sun gazed though, so maybe I should try it sometime. All right, another user, Alina M88, has a few questions. I'm going to try to answer all of them. And the first one is, did you see a net around the Earth at pre-birth? Many are mentioning the electromagnetic shield that looks like a net from their meditations, psychedelics, trips, and EE. I did not see a grid. I saw, again, a massive black mass of pure evil, and that was physical reality. It was just a disgusting, bubbling mass of just horror. I saw nothing of the sort of grid. I saw, again, that black mass with little white pinpricks of light piercing through that mass, and that was it. Have you ever seen that we are in a tesseract construction, cubes inside of cubes inside of cubes with lots of mirrors? No, not at all. But I have seen some sort of black room in meditation, and I don't know exactly what that is. So it could just be some, you know, again, the clockwork of this simulation, this illusion that we find ourselves in. Number 3, also folks mentioned that saw a serpent body with a lion head, demiurge. Some people saw that creature in trips even without knowing anything about Gnosticism. And Yaldabaoth, have you ever seen him yourself? Whoa, I have actually never heard that in trip reports. I love going down trip reports because they will tell you a lot. No, I have never seen that before. That's incredible. The demiurge I'm learning more about is possibly a kind of illusionist and shapeshifter. So I think the demiurge might be responsible for a lot of the NDE illusion that we see, an entity that shapeshifts at will and shows you what you want to see or shows you what you believe you're going to see. So, I've never seen him myself though. Many people recently are mentioning that during their astral projection, they saw that there are 13 creators of this construct. Do you have any information regarding it? Astral projection is tricky. This is coming from my personal experience with it. When we are astral projecting, we are still filtering things through our human consciousness. The difference between not having a body in a pre-birth experience or a near-death experience is vastly different. And that is my personal experience. There could be people out there that are so good at astral projection or out-of-body experiences where they're able to go to those higher realms. But my understanding, the process that it took to get me in a human body is intense. It is with beyond words. And the difference between my consciousness in the higher realms and in this body is night and day. It's like mixing oil and water. It doesn't. And I feel that way about astral projection. So I think there's a lot of illusions in the astral realms. The astral realms are not the same as the higher realms. So again, take this with a grain of salt. Do it yourself. Astral project yourself and you'll see, because everyone has a different experience. So we have to do this ourselves to get the real answers. And then your last one has to do with OBE. So you ask me, do you do OBEs? If yes, how did you get rid of fear of astral projection? And did you also get disturbed in the beginning of the friendly creatures, especially during sleep paralysis if you're experiencing it? Have you met reptilians, greys, draconians during the OBE on the moon before they squeezed you on Earth? No. I did not see any other creature. The only entities that I saw in the higher realms were the three beings who which I will explain over time, are your ancestors, are my ancestors, and myself. I didn't see another spirit. I didn't see anything else. So as far as my out-of-body experiences, I know exactly what fear you're talking about. And that's why I don't actually astral project anymore. I mean, I do, but I don't really try that much because I deal with entities out there that bother me. I'm not like completely scared of them, but I just don't like being inconvenienced. I'm just like, gosh, I just feel that they're really trying to keep me inside my body. How do you get rid of the fear? The best thing I have ever done and had the most amazing astral projection experience is that when all the turbulence is happening and all that noise and the feeling and how the sounds and all that, is just close your eyes and go within yourself and just observe the loudness, observe the sounds, observe the feelings, and ignore them in a way. So you observe them and ignore it to where it doesn't snap you out of your state, and then you just sit, and if you have an intention, go for that intention. If you want to visit a past life, if you want to see things, go with that intention. But first, go within, quiet your mind when you're there, and amazing things will happen. So I wish you luck on that, and I really hope that you reach out to me and, keep me updated. And then I have also a lot of stories about what I've seen out there too, so we'll get there. City of Angels asks, did the beings that sent you here have emotions or empathy? Was there judgment of the evilness happening on Earth? Yes, they absolutely had emotions. I felt it. They loved me so much. I loved them. We were basically conversing the entire time telepathically, and the whole theme And I don't remember the exact words. I wish I did. I know that would have been a lot of help. But overall, it was basically them admiring me, just listing off my features, listing off my good qualities, and me to them, just loving on them. It was just a back and forth, just you know, heaven, right? So they had emotions, and a lot of people say that that's an illusion. And I'm here to say, as of right now, that it's not an illusion. There's a knowing there and a feeling. And that knowing is a lot stronger than the knowing we have here. We have human bias in how we feel right now. We are not consciously not the same. I trust my higher self more than I trust Harold in the flesh. And this is a complicated topic. This isn't just so cut and dry, black and white. That's what a lot of people have issues with when talking about this stuff. It's so black and white. It's so us versus them. And it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. And I'm just here to tell my truth and hope that people can catch on. And, you know, I think the more we share our stories, the more we're all going to get there, you know, at our own time. Was there judgment of the evilness happening on earth? Not judgment, but understanding. When they showed me the place and I was petrified, they were like, we know. And when they said that, it was like, we see it too. You're going to be okay. And that's when they assured me, and they reminded me that, look, there's no time here. When you're down there, it's going to feel forever. But to us, it's going to be like a second. So, and that's been very true. You know, it feels very long here, but at the same time, I know that feeling of timelessness. So, yeah, there wasn't judgment of the evilness. There wasn't judgment. It was understanding. And I have a lot of questions about that myself. So, okay, so this comment is by CRTZ1763. And it's a question about Robert Monroe. I have read his books. I haven't finished them all, and they're amazing. Oh my goodness. Let me just kind of summarize your question here. And you're asking, so can you please share your thoughts on Monroe's experience with the inspec and what he tells Monroe regarding the human school and how very special humans are? Do you think the inspec was deceiving Monroe in order for him to be okay with being a human and on Earth? If you have not read his books or work and I'm getting you mixed up with someone else, I'm sorry, and thanks for your time. Oh, okay. Yes, I have read his books, and not all of them. I didn't see his interaction with the inspec. And like I've been mentioning with the other questions in astral projection, the difference between not having a body and astral projection cannot be stressed enough. I think there are a lot of illusions in this place. It is a clown world. If you've seen all the different, just read all the astral projection stories. It's ridiculous. It has so much filtering done through our human consciousness that it is just, from my experience and from what I've been reading, again, I think it's highly likely that this inspec was definitely deceiving Robert Monroe. Again, this thing appeared to him and he dropped his knees in adoration, but Robert Monroe was still in the astral. What's going on there? If you ask me, I think there's illusions, and their only job is to keep us incarnating here. That's the only thing they have to do. So, yeah, let's observe this stuff, you know, using discernment. Just read all these different astral projections. Go down the rabbit hole, and you'll see all the varying stories. This one's from 111 Starseed. And she asks, what about free will? Everything just happens as our personal script, or some events can be changed. I have been saved 3 times from dying, and one of them was a divine interference. I heard a voice like a thunder in my head. Oh, that's crazy. So you've had multiple NDEs. I'm assuming from this comment. Yeah, what about free will? It's very interesting, right? Because I picked my script during my pre-birth, and specific events were not very clear to me. It was an all-encompassing choosing my body, and I've thought of this too. What of free will? You know, this is a difficult question. I think generally that we do have free will. When it comes to NDEs, that's different, right? It's not the same. You know, in NDE, you have passed on, but it seems like with NDEs, you're still somehow connected to your body in some way. Maybe you haven't fulfilled your initial quote unquote contract or script or whatever. This question is not easily answered. There's a lot of variables that can be going on here. So overall, I do think we have free will. Even in my case, even though they were definitely influencing my decision to come to Earth, I did consent, and I know a lot of people do. So free will, life scripts, man, we're gonna have to make a video on that one. Thanks for the question. Nature's Gift asks me, how did you perceive Earth before incarnating? Did you see the shape? I do not believe we live on a ball like they tell us. The sun and moon and stars are not millions of miles away. I think they're very local and much closer. I think this is a realm or a dream world from which we have to wake up. Maybe you incarnated to help people wake up and show them the truth. So glad you remember, so you cannot be trapped here. Thank you, my dear. I agree 100%. As far as how did I perceive the Earth, again, there was no globe. There was no planets. There weren't even stars. It was a massive, horrific, living black mass of pure evil. The whole thing, it expanded far and wide, up, down, left, right. It was everywhere. That's what I saw. A big mess. And it wasn't, I don't believe it was just Earth. I believe it was all of physical reality. There was nothing outside of it. That was it. This is where physical reality resided, and it was a big bundle of chaos. All right, the next one, Castle Ultra 1082, is a friend of mine. What's up, my dude? He asked me, I've always had a feeling since I was a young boy that I would be here to witness the end. Just like you said, you believe you will see the biggest event in history. I know you don't remember seeing the event, but do you have any feelings or guesses what it could possibly be? That's an awesome question. Thanks for allowing me to give a guess, right? By the way, check out Castle Ultra's music. This guy is a genius, and if you're in the California area and you want to record music, you got to get with this guy. He's got good prices, and he's just a man. So my buddy Mike here, guesses as far as what I think it will be. Man, I don't know if it's just high hoping, Mike, but I feel like justice is finally going to be served, and I feel like this place is just going to be gone. I feel like this physical reality is going to be gone completely, and it should be. If people want to explore physical reality, I feel like there's so many different ways to do it without straight up abject, ridiculous torture. This is an imperfect creation, and it is always going to be that way. I don't think there's fixing this place at all. So I think it's possible that it's the end. Physical reality goes bye-bye. All the little, I almost all the aliens and all the crazy muddy dimensions and stories and just all that stuff gone forever. Maybe something new can be created, and I'm open to it, but I'm not gonna hang around. I'm out of here. So I think that could be it, man. I don't know. This is quite a long one, written by Joel Bryant 5999. All right, so it says the spirit guides are working with a very sophisticated system, one in which their overall primary objective seems to be to coerce souls to incarnate. It does not make sense that the guides are familiar, family, trustworthy. Well, let me start with that one first. Joel, let me ask you, do you have experience with this personally? Have you met the guides? Let me know. If you haven't, I wouldn't jump to conclusions. It's one of those things, we can compile all the stories ever about these entities here in the flesh. You still are hardly scratching the surface without true experience. So that's my answer to that. I wouldn't jump to conclusions and say that they aren't family, that they're not part of you. It's something you have to experience yourself, for sure. And it's one of those things, if they're not family or if they're not ancestors, who are they? Where do they come from? Right? Do they come from another source of creation? Is there multiple sources of creation that just popped up in, in the nothing and just happen to all exist at the same time, and they come from a different source and they're just, this is an endless nesting doll of creation theory where we assume that we are not connected and that we are not connected to the all. And I think that that is something that I think you should re-examine for yourself. Just keep searching, keep looking at different stories, different NDEs, pre-birth experiences. Read as much as you can. But the primary goal, I believe, you should, as best as you can, see if you can astral project, do out-of-body experiences, and see if you can interact. See what you can do. But again, without direct experience, I wouldn't jump to conclusions on that. Why do many people believe that these feelings are true and not just more manipulation tactics? And that kind of goes with what I was saying before. It's because you're there, and you just know. It's a knowing without knowing. If you know what that phrase means, you're on the right track here. I trust my higher self way more than I trust this physical body, and all of my biases, all of my ego attached to what I think I know is right. Your higher self knows way more than you think, and this isn't so black and white, my friend. This is a complicated, very complicated topic, and I would look, just as you're using discernment, keep using that discernment with all this information you're taking in. Keep going and don't stop. If you stop and if you think you're done, you're doing yourself an injustice. Yeah, again, all these questions you're asking are so valid, and I've been through this before. And some things you just can't directly answer without personal experience. Like you're asking me, time isn't real, so if this feeling of you having to hurry up is just more evidence of manipulation, this is not so black and white. We can try our best to use just logic and reason, but that's not how you experience the spirit realm. It's experienced with feeling and a knowing. It's not logic. It's not reason. It doesn't work that way at all. Like at all. I can't tell you how much I understand these questions. Like I get it, but the feeling of having to hurry up I've told this to my buddy Seth, and Seth had a pre-birth experience, and same thing. He had the hurry up, let's go, it's time to go. When I think about this moment, I have a revelation, and the whole time it was hurry up, but right before I saw what the earth was going to be, I was absorbing information. I was like receiving this infinite knowledge pouring into my head, and I think they want to get you incarnated on earth as fast as possible before you just realize, remember your origins, or you find out too much up there and the whole thing's gone. You're just going to take off. So this is very complicated. You're asking all the really good questions, but just, again, keep an open mind. These bro, this is how I'm going to end it with you. Okay, Joel? These guys do not have more power than us, my friend. This is a massive, just dramatic cinema, and it's very, very complicated. So what you do need to know is that they are not more powerful than you, and their power lies in your ignorance to yourself. That's where the power lies. I was ignorant to what I truly was in that moment. I was within the layers of this matrix. I was still, even in the higher realms, I was in the veil of forgetfulness. It exists up there too. It's way less dense than it is down here, but it exists up there too. I was ignorant to my true self. That's why the name of this channel is The End of Agnoia. Let's just be on a warpath to end our ignorance within ourselves and everything around us, you know? So with that, I'm going to sign off on the Q&As. This one was a little short, but, you know, guys, thank you so much for being here. Again, we have so much to go over. This is going to be an adventure. I'm so glad to have you guys. Bear with me. I am not a content creator. I'm a real dude. I'm a real person with a career, a life. I can't wait to release my next video. I'm going to give you a little teaser. It's about an Archon. And you know what, Joel? I really want you to hang out for this one. I really want you, just give me one video, dude. We're going to talk about a specific Archon. I'm not going to say it yet because I want to build a little tension. But it's one of my favorite stories I've heard lately. And I think it'll open your eyes to certain things. And that goes for everybody else. It opened my eyes to some things. So again, we have a lot of things planned in the future. Like I said, down the line, I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing live streams in a few months, and we're going to be diving into different esoteric and spiritual topics. And I'm going to basically do a live reaction to videos that you guys suggest and videos that I want to show you guys. Also with, again, like I said, my buddy here, Castle Ultra 1082, we're going to be making a lot of music together. The first project I want to do musically is I'm going to do meditation music and different frequencies for you guys and guided meditation. And then I'm going to do like just an artsy, just maybe like an indie rock song, or maybe a bunch of songs. I'm not sure. I think that's a good way to start. So there's going to be music, live streams, a lot more content. I'm also working behind the scenes with another gentleman. I have not revealed who it is yet. And we're going to be doing skits. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. And I'm new to content creation, and I'm trying to stay on a schedule. But again, I have a very busy weekly schedule as it is. So I'm going to do my best to get to all your emails and comments. This is absolutely ridiculously insane for me. But I am so thankful that I've met so many of you guys. I feel like I'm already done. Like in a strange way, I feel completed. Like I've met so many amazing people. But it also is inspiring me to keep on going. I want to build a nice corner for us on the internet so we could all explore and learn together. If you haven't seen my most recent video, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have. It is a story of Sophia and creation. It's a pretty good way of trying to see things from another perspective. It's a story that people talked about thousands of years ago and how the origin of the world came about, and I think it's fascinating stuff. And all this information, it doesn't ask for your blind faith. This isn't a religion. Gnosticism is not a religion. It's a way of life. It's knowledge. Who can argue with that? You want to argue against knowledge? I don't know what to say. If you have any suggestions for me, leave some comments, and hope to talk to you guys soon. Thank you.